Hi, I'm Larie, and welcome to your postnatal abdominal and pelvic floor activation exercise routine. So during today's workout, we're really going to focus on activating and engagement. So we do have a lot of breathing exercises that are great for postnatal, and then we're going to combine that movement with breath. So it's all about activating the transverse abdominal muscle and strengthening the transverse abdominal muscle as well as your pelvic floor. What you're going to need today is a mat, and then I always say a ball or a beach towel or something to that effect, but I'm going to show you what a towel actually looks like today. But if you have a ball, grab it, or if you don't, just grab a towel and wrap it up. So we're going to begin lying on our backs, and to get there, most of us will want to come to one side, bring it all the way down, and then come to the back. So all of the breathing exercises, we're going to start with some breath work. All of the breathing exercises can be done in a seated position if you prefer that. This is my preferred way to do the breathing exercises. So go ahead, relax the shoulders down and away from the ears. Press the low back into the mat. So we don't want any space in between your low back and the mat. And just bring the knees in towards the glutes. So make sure we have that neutral spine. We're going to practice our TVA breathing. So as we inhale, we let everything go. Everything's nice and loose on the inhale. And then as we exhale, I want you to feel your pelvic floor lift up. So we're engaging the pelvic floor. After we do that, engage your transverse abdominal. So your transverse abdominal is that corset muscle. We should feel it get tighter and tighter on the exhale. You may notice how my hips kind of slightly tuck under and go into a posterior tilt. That's normal. So have that kind of rocking sensation. So on the inhale, everything's loose. On the exhale, pelvic floor lifts and engages, TVA engages, turn it on. Inhale, let it all go. Exhale, engage. We'll be doing that breath work before we do anything. So we're here for 2 minutes. You can go at your own pace or follow me. Inhale, let it all go. Everything's loose. Exhale, pelvic floor lifts. TVA engages. That corset muscle is getting tighter and tighter. Inhale, relax. Exhale, engage. Inhale, relax, and as we inhale, we want that big 360 diaphragmatic breath. So we're feeling up the front, sides, back of the rib cage, as well as that belly. So if you're wondering if you're doing it correctly, it does take a few tries to get used to, but you can go ahead, continue this breath, take your 2 fingers, place them a couple inches inside of your hip bone, and on the exhale, that spot should get nice and firm. Final 30 seconds. This will be our last round of breath. And release. All right, so coming up next, we're going to combine that breath work we just did now with movement. So this is going to be way more challenging. To make sure you're engaging your transverse abdominal, make sure, just go ahead, place your hand on your belly. You should feel it kind of go in. If you ever see any coning or tinting, that means our TVA is not engaged. We need to stop and we need to just practice the breath work. Right now, we're going to combine movement with breath. So we have heel slide. So inhale, let it go. Exhale, engage. Heel slide out, each side, and then we release. We'll repeat that. We have this for 60 seconds. Let's go. Engage on the exhale. Hold the engagement, one heel slide, and release. So as an option or modification, we can always reduce the range of motion. Maybe we take it 6 inches out, 6 inches in. The farther we go with the leg, the more challenging it will be. So just keep that in mind. This will be our last round. And release. All right, next exercise, same thing, but this time we're gonna hold the engagement of your transverse abdominal and we're not gonna let it go. So every time we exhale, I just want you to think about engaging your transverse abdominal even more. And as we exhale, so go ahead, bring your feet together. As we hit that engagement, we're going to abduct the legs just go wide, and then we bring it together on the inhale. So inhale, let it all go. Exhale, engage your TVA. Inhale, draw it in. Don't let the engagement go. Exhale, engage some more. So we're keeping and holding on to that transverse abdominal engagement for an entire 60 seconds. On the exhale, try to engage more. Feel that corset get tighter and tighter. Let's go, 60 seconds. Final 10 seconds. Inhale in, last 3, 2, and 1, release. All right, we're going to repeat the same thing, holding the engagement and not letting it go the entire time. On the exhale, engage even more. This time, maintain a slight posterior tilt with the pelvis. So if you can see, anterior tilt, this is what we do not want. We probably want to try to fix it postnatal. Neutral spine, as you can see, my low back is pressing into the mat. And then this posterior tilt is just a slight kind of tuck under of the pelvis. So slight tuck under of the pelvis, posterior tilt. Now from here, we inhale, exhale, engage, TVA, pelvic floor is lifted slightly. We can probably engage a little bit better with that posterior tilt as well. Now on the exhale, we're going to press against the outer blades of the feet. We have that abduction. So we're just bringing it up. Notice how it's not very far off of the mat. It's like 3 to 4 inches. So we're just gonna do these slight frog pumps. So we bring it up Inhale, release. Exhale, we lift and engage, and on the engagement, we're engaging pelvic floor, engaging in the transverse abdominals, even more with every exhale. Don't let go of the engagement, but we are not holding the breath. We go in 3, 2, and 1. Posterior tilt. On the exhale, we engage. We bring it up. Hold the engagement. Inhale down. Exhale, engage even more. Inhale, bring it down. Hold the engagement. Exhale, lift. Don't let that engagement go. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Posterior tilt of the pelvis before we drive through the outer blades of the feet. Engage more. Last rep, one more rep. Inhale. Exhale, engage the most. Last 3, 2, and release. All right, now we're going to come back to this position that we were, just this nice, comfortable position, and we're going to do just breath work. So we have TVA holds. What we're going to do, just like we did at the beginning of this video, we're engaging your transverse abdominal. This time, unlike the first one, we're not going to let it go on the inhale. We're going to hold the engagement on the inhale, and then on the exhale, engage even more. So let's go. Inhale, let it all go. On the exhale, pelvic floor lifts, TVA engages. Hold at the top. Inhale. Exhale, engage more. We're here for 2 minutes. You can go at your own pace. If you need to release at any point of time, you can release and then come back. Let's go. Inhale, exhale, feel that corset get tighter and tighter. On the next round, let's start taking 2 exhalations. So inhale, hold the engagement. Exhale, engage more. Another exhale, engage the most. Inhale. Exhale, engage. Exhale, engage even more. Inhale. Exhale, engage. Forceful exhale, engage more. It's burning for me. Keep going. Inhale. Exhale, engage. Exhale, engage even more. That second exhale is like a very shallow exhale. Inhale. Exhale, engage. Forceful exhale, engage more. One more round. Inhale. Exhale, engage more. Forceful exhale. Hold for 3, 2, and release. Nice work. We are not done. Let's keep going. Now we're moving on to knee in. So we're going to hold the engagement of the transverse abdominals. We're not letting it go on the exhale, which will be the knee in. We're going to engage even more. So as an option or modification, You can just decrease the range of motion by bringing the heels in closer towards your glutes. This is more challenging. This is still challenging, but if you have any separation of the abdominals, I would start here, over here. All right, so let's go. Inhale, let it go. Exhale, pelvic floor lifts and engages. TVA engages, that corset gets tighter and tighter. Right knee goes in, release down, hold the engagement. Exhale, left knee in. Inhale. Exhale. Make sure that low back is pressing into the mat. You also don't have to bring the knee all the way in towards the chest. So it could look like this. Just barely off the ground. Once we get better with the engagement and the farther along we get with our postnatal fitness journey, the more we'll be able to bring it in, the more we'll be able to extend the legs maybe a little bit longer, but ease into it. Ease into that. I cannot stress it enough. Ease into it. Make sure we have the appropriate mind-muscle connection. That is what matters most. Your abdominals are healing right now. Everything is starting to come back together, find its place. And we don't want to do anything to prevent that from happening. My abs are on fire. Almost 3 years postnatal now. With my second. Final 10. Last rep. 3, 2, and 1. All right. Next breathing exercise. This is going to be amped up a notch, and may take you a while to get it down. This is just for better core control. So on the inhale, we let it all go. On the exhale, let all the air out. Pelvic floor lifts, TVA engages, and empty all of the air out of yourself. All of the air is gone. Now, hold. Draw your deep belly button up and in towards the spine. Forward back you. And release. I'll give you a different view of me standing doing it. This one's really challenging, so let's just do what we can. We're only going to be here for 60 seconds. We do hold the breath a little bit on once we have the belly button up and in towards the spine. So inhale, let it all go. Exhale, engage pelvic floor. Engage TVA. Empty all the air out. Belly button into spine. And release. And if you need to release sooner, release sooner. If you can only hold it for a second, hold for a second. If we can't do it at all, keep practicing. We'll get better at it. Inhale, let it all go. Exhale, pelvic floor lifts. TVA engages. Empty out all the air. Let's do that twice more, then we're moving on. Nice work. All right, we're moving on to one more breathing exercise. It's really going to focus on the pelvic floor. So when we engage pelvic floor, we need to make sure the front of our pelvic floor is engaged and the back of our pelvic floor is engaged. So what you hear a lot, stop the flow of urine. Great. We also want to squeeze something inside. So act like something is inside. So we're stopping the flow of urine, gets the front. We want to make sure the back of the pelvic floor is engaged too. So also squeeze something inside of your lady parts. The flow of urine, squeeze those lady parts. We're going to hold that engagement for 1 to 2 seconds and then release. We're going to be here for 2 minutes. So you can do whatever you want. With your feet. You can also do this in a seated position. So inhale, let it go. Exhale, engage pelvic floor, front and back. Engage as much as you can. And we hold, squeeze for 1, 2, and release. And we have that on repeat for 2 minutes. Let's go. Front of the pelvic floor is engaged, back. Engage even more, squeeze, hold for 1, 2, and release. If you have a hard time engaging your pelvic floor, I highly recommend coming to a seated position. You'll feel kind of a lifting sensation off of the ground. So at the top, keep holding that pause and try to squeeze harder during the pause. And as you can notice, my pelvic region just automatically goes in that posterior tilt. Two more reps. Final rep. Last 2. Last 1. And release. All right, now we need our beach towel. So kind of like with that TVA where we did not lose the engagement, now we're going to engage pelvic floor and we're not releasing it. So grab your ball, your something squishy. We're placing it in between the inner thighs. My preferred region is right below the knees, kind of towards the top. So as we inhale, let it go. On the exhale, engage front of the pelvic floor, back of the pelvic floor, and we're squeezing your beach towel or your ball. Now on the inhale, we release a little bit to about 50%, but we still have engagement. On the exhale, we engage more. Squeeze it. Squeeze that towel. I don't know why I just clapped my hands. I apologize. Inhale. Keep a little bit of engagement, about 25, 50%. Try for 50. Exhale, engage more. Your TVA is going to activate a little here, but we're switching the focus to the pelvic floor region. Final 15 seconds. This is our final exercise. We have one more rep and then we are going to hold. Inhale, exhale, engage. Now squeeze, or have this iso hold for 30 seconds starting now. I have a slight air. I have a couple inches under my glutes. My pelvic floor is engaged. I am squeezing. This position for my body provides the most engagement. So yours may be on the ground. That is okay. Do what works for you. Keep squeezing. Squeeze a little bit more. Last 3, 2, and release. We are done. Nice work. Go ahead, place that towel behind you, roll over onto your most comfortable side, pause there briefly, use the outside hand to help guide yourself up. Y'all, those breathing exercises are super, super challenging, so be patient with them, be patient with yourself. Different positions, coming to that seated position, maybe coming into a quadruped position for some of us may work a little better too. So if that didn't feel good lying on your back, I recommend maybe next time try it seated, or in a quadruped position or tabletop position may work for you as well. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and if you thought this was too easy, I want you to check out my other postnatal abdominal video. I will link it below, or we may be able to move on to some other videos. But always make that engagement first and foremost. You rock, mama, and have a wonderful rest of your day.